and it sent a bad signal to the private sector. And so once again, people don't feel safe about private property. This government could take anything, whether it's title land or your transport or anything of that sort, or a lease. They can do whatever they want. That's the first signal. The second thing is ambiguity about the tax regimes. So in this week, we are meeting investors. They've come from all over the world, and we're promoting, about Guyana, and come to invest here. Then out of the blues, the president makes a statement that we are going to reduce incentives to foreign investors when they're here. And so he is basing this on some report they have that was parked since 2002 that talks about a high level of remissions. Now, these remissions are given not only to foreign investors, but they're given to many local companies. So Banks DIH, for example, if you bring in, say, cheese may not be zero rated. I'm just using an example. Cheese. So, but if cheese comes in now by a manufacturer as an input into another commodity, they will then get cheese as a raw material. The tax is remitted. So you can't zero rate it because it's for everybody. It's general consumption. But because it is part of a raw material for a manufacturer, and they would end up paying taxes on the final product, because if you charge taxes on the raw material as well as the final product, you have a cascading of the tax. So that's why you have to remit it. This is what happens. That's why the remission levels are there. And so they see this figure, and then suddenly, ill-advised, he makes a statement of that nature. Now, what do you think if you are a foreign investor? I will say, whenever you finish fixing your incentive regime, don't tell me you're going to change it. I will wait until you finish fixing it. And then I will come to Guyana to see if it is favorable enough. In 1 week and one statement, he has killed every promotional activity we've done on investment. Because why would people come now if the tax concessions and the incentives to come here are going to be changed against, not in their favor, but against them? Why? It doesn't make sense. And so how do you expect private sector to invest? So in the budget again, quietly, the Minister of Finance reinstitutes the 16% value added tax on heavy equipment, machinery. Now, people don't consume this. They don't drive a tractor or a combine on the road, or a skidder or a bulldozer. They use this in the productive sector. Now they have to pay 16% VAT. So a miner now will have to spend millions of dollars more, millions, to bring in a bulldozer or an excavator. The rice farmers will have to spend more if they're buying a tractor combined. How could this be pro-investment? How could raising taxes on all of these people, the private sector, be pro-investment? So that's the second signal. They're not clear. They're still evolving. The government shoots itself in the foot. One person says one thing that's pro-investment, another one says something that annuls or annihilates all of the efforts that they have made. It is noteworthy that they have not received a single major investment for the future. And they criticize us a lot, but then I see them talking about Giffland Mall now and stuff. One minister was talking about how this is a sign of confidence. Well, the Giffland Mall, the land they got under the PP, Most of the construction was done there. The new construction, it's the one in front by the road. That project started under the PP. They bought the land for $20 million an acre just there. And so that project was under the PPP too. The new mall that is being built by the roadside at Rendell. The new supermarket, not supermarket, Star One's building too, started under the PPP. Almost every construction, Teleperformance, PPP. Which major investment? They're so desperate that they're saying now 4G. They brought 4G to Guyana as part of their achievement. Now desperate. It's like we saying we brought cell phones, because when we took office, nobody had, very few people. You had about 300 instruments, cell phones. Now you got about 700,000. So people should say we brought cell phones to Guyana. These are the part of the people's business plan. So desperate for achievements that they are even claiming the people 4G service that they had planned a long time. And they've delayed a whole year in bringing the legislation for the liberalization of the sector. They blocked it at committees and committees, the same thing that Digital and the others wanted. They've delayed that to liberalize the sector so that people here have greater bandwidth at a cheaper cost, greater competition. That's what they should be focusing on. So that's the signal. Then the politicization. These are signals to the private sector of the revenue authority. So you've seen it's a tar. And now what has happened, it is a justification, basically a vindication that what he said was accurate. So that happened. Then the chairman of the board, he is political too. And then this DDL matter. And you know what? This media is missing the biggest story, economic story in our history, the history of Guyana. And I think they do so because many of the newspapers receive ads from this company, and they don't want to offend. But this matter, apart from the 10 points, this matter, I've looked at the numbers again. It's not going to end at 16 billion. Remember I said conservatively? This will be somewhere near $60 billion of implication. And I'm not stupid to say this. It will cost the Treasury some $60 billion. Let's consider that comparing to what the school kids were getting, how much that cost. 1.67, 167,000 by 10,000, $1.67 billion, and we couldn't afford that for the school kids. But we have made a decision that will cost the Treasury close to $60 billion. And you will see it unfold in a few weeks, in the upcoming weeks. And you're missing the biggest story ever. That this was done, and I've asked the president to inquire into this. Clearly, he has not done anything. The government has gone quiet on it, so I have to conclude that the government knows about this. They're complicit in it at all levels, because I've not seen any response from the president or anyone else about this matter. This matter, we didn't want that to happen. We should have been happy because we can always use it against them. But that is how much money it will cost this Treasury. And watch how the story will unfold over the next few months. Watch it as other companies come forward now to claim their refunds, because they would have to get it. Because once you settle on one basis for one company, so it's not what they have done by politicizing the GRA. They remove something that businesses hold sacred, a level playing field. If I am in the same sector as you are, I want to be treated exactly the same way. You can't treat banks DIH one way and DDL another way and another person. Then they would lose competitive advantage in the sector. And so this is the third thing, the third signal that this government has sent to private businesses. Very, very important. When you politicize revenue earning agencies, when you remove the level playing field from people, when your taxation policy doesn't have clarity, it's ambiguous, when you go after private property, when you send people into the business community home at night, what do you expect? It's not drug money. It is people nobody wants to invest. Nobody wants to invest. Those from abroad are waiting to see what will happen, and the local ones are saying, we're not doing. So go to the markets, you see the slope there, and talk to people. Go to the real estate dealers, and you'll talk to them. Look at where the construction activity, they're trying to bully people into building now, but that's slow too. Go to the mining sectors, except in the 2 new gold mines that started operating, that were built under the PPP. That's where most of the growth. Find out how many small gold miners have had difficulties. Talk to the rice farmers. Talk to the sugar workers who have had no salary increase. Talk to the loggers in Kwakwani and Aichuni, who were by Shanlin and some others were buying their logs. And these are community forests that we give to people. So when 300 of them came together from Kwakwani or Aichuni, they got a concession and they work together and they earn a living. Many of them can't sell their logs. Go to Kwakwani. You would see, because Rusal has shifted now their operations and the logging is down, what people are saying there. It's not drug money. They're missing an opportunity to address the real issue. And so the government has no plan. I can conclude that the government has no plan to fix the economy. It's fixable. They have no vision about where it's going. They're just doing things like in a as I said before, haphazard way, etc. If you want to do some audits, and since we're talking about 1 year, we can start by auditing the city council and finding out how much waivers they give. Recently, the billions of dollars of waiving taxes and the 800 million they spent, we can ask how they have tendered the work, who got the 10 contracts, etc. We can start by auditing the Durban Park project. We can audit the purchase of drugs over the last year. That would be interesting to see. I'm very happy, given the saga, the Bobby Ramroop saga. It would be very interesting to see the audit. We can audit the Federal Lloyd deal. We can audit the settlement, the one-off taxes, settlement on the environmental tax, the purchase of milk. We can do that. We can audit that. We can audit the power purchase agreement from IPA that they're negotiating, the fertilizer deal, the 16 million write-off. We should be doing some audits too, and the president likes audits. In just 1 year, I can list about 20 things for him to audit that he'll find real corruption in. Real corruption. No, and it doesn't have to be which he can choose external auditors this time, not people sympathetic to them. So that's 1 year record for you. Nothing on the economy, no vision, lots of things to audit. The guy Supo, I see they said they need more money. Now, a lot more money, but I saw 30,000 tons. They were boasting about how well they were doing, and that was the cane that we left in the field. So now the 30,000 tons shortfall. Of course you need more money if you said you're producing X amount of cane, and you produce 30,000 tons less in the first crop. You think the chairman of the board thinks we're stupid? He said it has nothing to do with the shortfall. It's just that we need more money because we spent up the rest of the money, so many needs. If you produce 30,000 less and you're selling at a price, you'll get more money in the system. So, because it's the same staff you have, it's the same overhead, everything, you're just producing less. So we're looking at that. Maybe I should stop because I have like a ton of other things. I see